and welcome back to Jeff Koinange live at the poolside of the Intercontinental. Good grief! Twitter is on fire. That's because Miguna is on the show, just as is Farah, Maalim, and they are spewing, they are waxing, they are just calling it without fear or favor. And that's what JKL is all about. Let me read a couple of tweets here. Mutogi the poet, he says, Miguna is back breathing fire. Those statistics about Nyanza lagging behind in almost everything are stunning. Khalid Sheikh says, Miguna is a girl who can't get over you even years after you broke up.
That's a good thing for a girl.
Someone else, I think it was Frederick Okango, who says, if Miguna and Raila were on a plane heading to Canada, sitting side by side, what would you all be discussing?
We would be discussing politics.
On the plane?
How I'm going to make sure that he retires. Permanently.
Okay. And they're saying Farah Maalim statistics. Farah Maalim is talking facts as they go. Gentlemen, I want to talk about two things real quick, and then we'll get some closing thoughts, because I know we have not too much time in this last block. Okay, so first, ICC. The president has been summoned to a status conference on October the 8th. Miguna, should he go?
He should go.
Why?
Well, for many reasons. First of all, the president said he would comply, he would cooperate. He needs to continue that. He needs to demonstrate that whatever he does, whatever he says, he means. He must be seen as a man of his word. He must respect the court. And he must demonstrate goodwill. Politically also it's good. It would show, as it has already shown, that the evidence is weak. There is nothing to fear. He goes there and he comes back a stronger person. They can then organize a bigger homecoming, bigger than Raila's homecoming at Uhuru Park, and that would be good for him. So he should go.
Wishma?
The president is in a dilemma. It's a massive dilemma. Purely on as a country and as a Kenyan citizen, I share what Miguna has said. There doesn't seem to be any case against him in the Hague now. So he will go there, and I think he can ask for justice not to be delayed any further, and basically seek a resolution of the matter in the soonest possible way. So I agree with him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so far there has not been any case, so to speak.
So what's the dilemma?
Against the president.
What's the dilemma?
The dilemma, I'll tell you. The dilemma is that the president has, for the last 2 years, or 1.5 years, I should say, globetrotted in the continent of Africa, from one end to the other end, literally marshalling support from all these heads of states. And there was that very powerful resolution by African heads of states, particularly sub-Saharan Africa, black Africans. And by submitting himself to the court, he has already submitted himself to the court by basically instructing his lawyers to go and defend him in court. Hassan Bashir did not do that. Hassan Omar Bashir, the president of Sudan. Yeah. But he himself has done that. But by Father going out there and appearing in The Hague, I think is not going to be taken very kindly by the rest of the continent.
By his colleagues.
By his colleagues in the sub-Saharan Africa. Because they wanted to create this bulwark against this and just see the ICC in the lenses of racism. You know, the West trying to recolonize Africa through ICC. So he has that dilemma. But purely as a Kenyan and for the interest of this country, I think he should go, submit himself. I have a feeling that the cases are going to be dropped pretty soon, if not immediately, given a short period of time. And he'll come back and essentially he will have been vindicated. Although there's a window for Bensouda to follow the Kenya government, because they said lack of cooperation from the state actors, from the government itself.
Miguna, those who say that this is a total embarrassment, the first ever sitting head of state to ever appear at the ICC.
Well, the ICC is a new court, so they didn't expect anything to happen before the court was formed. So the second one is that the president was charged as an individual before he became president. So the case is not about him vis-a-vis the presidency. And it has nothing to do with the country, because they have not accused Kenya of having done anything in terms of the post-election violence. Kenya is not charged at the court. So those are misguided in my view, because the president as an individual who is facing accusations, unfounded or not, will have to play by the rules. And the rule of law dictates that if you're accused of something, you go and defend yourself. And he's done a good job.
His deputy has been there. His deputy has appeared.
Sorry.
How many times in the court?
But he's not elected by the people.
He's elected by the people.
No,
he was.
He's not on the ballot box.
He was. Yes, the current constitution.
Both of them were.
You pick up your president and the deputy president, and you're together in the ballot box.
Yes.
It is.
Nobody can get rid of the other. The president cannot get rid of his deputy president if he doesn't like him now until we go for the next election, or until there's a process of some other kind of a process. But let me tell you one thing. I don't think the president will fail to go and appear there.
You don't?
And I think he would want to make the maximum political capital out of it by coming back, as Miguna puts it. And saying, look, I'm off the, no, I'm not there.
I've been vindicated. I appeared, and I've come back.
I'm vindicated, and I haven't been guilty of these things. But let me tell you one thing. The other window is that, as he said, the president was there in his personal capacity. The president was part of the parliamentary process that ratified the ICC, because we passed it in our own parliament here, and said, let's not be vague. We go to Hague.
Correct.
And both him and the deputy president in different camps those days supported that. So I think it's only fair that he goes out there. If he fails to do that, then we begin having these sanctions, and I don't see the necessity for us to have those sanctions.
And you know, if he doesn't go, he actually gives a core movement a very excuses to say he doesn't believe in the rule of law, impunity, Article 6. No, I know these people. I can read them.
Sees everything in the president of Raila.
You see, the problem is, my friend, he doesn't know Raila as much as I do. I can read what Raila is going to do tomorrow.
What is he going to do tomorrow?
If the president,
what is he going to do tomorrow?
Tomorrow, if the president does go, he will hold a rally at Uhuru Park. He will hold a rally at Uhuru Park.
Saying,
and he will call on his friends internationally to say he's an outlaw. Kenya is a pariah state. The shilling will take a beating. The economy will be crumbling, and he will be the salvation. He says this man has failed.
Let me tell you,
I don't think that would be.
I think it would be a mistake. It would be a mistake
for him not to go.
As he puts it, we will have cooperation with all the international donor community.
It would be a very
we'll
bad
seize
thing.
Immediately. The shilling will take a free fall, and it's not good for this country's economy.
Gentlemen, you spoke about the deputy, right, Ruto? In the rift, it seems like the rift is getting bigger and bigger between one Ruto and another Ruto. Bomet Governor Isaac Ruto versus Deputy President William Ruto. Is there a rift? Is there?
Well, I think this whole thing should not become a personal contest for supremacy. I think we have a democracy here. We have a constitution. It's time we begin getting away from the KANU shackles of the big man syndrome. Once somebody is exercising his own constitutional rights, then why should it bother somebody? Anybody who calls for a referendum right now is purely a constitutional right of somebody. It's there, ingrained in our own constitution. So why should one worry about it? I can see it becoming a contest between the two of them, which was very unnecessary in my opinion. But from the way it looks like, I know them both, by the way.
Do you?
And yes, I know them both. And we've been in politics, both of them. And both of them are fighters. You can rest assured about that. And Isaac is one guy who cannot be intimidated by anybody. He fought Moi in his heydays. You know that. And when he had to go for the elections immediately in 2002, was it? Yep. 2002. And he basically, Isaac will take on anybody.
He's not afraid.
No. I think at the end of the day, very well. At the end of the day, both of them will lose.
Let me
go on, Miguna.
I don't think he knows Isaac very well. There are only two people in Kenya at the University of Nairobi, students whose rooms have been burnt by fellow students. One was Wetangula, the other one was Isaac Ruto. The only two people in the history of Kenya
Burnt by other students?
By other students, on the basis that they betrayed the other students. And they were kicked out of the campus. They did their exams from outside. Isaac Ruto and Wetangula. Isaac Ruto was a student leader with Oduoro Ngwen and the rest. And he was used by Moi to identify the rebels as Isaac is not a man who anybody says has credibility in anything. Number two, because I know him.
This is the
I was a student, no, a pretender. Look, when we were writing the Constitution, I distributed a memo to ODM MPs on the Constitution, including the allocation to 45. Isaac took the memo I wrote, Xeroxed it, and distributed it to the PNU side so that they could limit the allocation to 15. He can't come now and tell us he wants it more. He only wants it more. No, because we are dealing with facts.
What does Isaac want?
Isaac wants more money to misuse.
But eventually, does he want to be deputy president?
Maybe he does. Maybe he wants to be Raila's running. No, let me finish.
Go on.
Maybe Isaac wants to be a running mate. Maybe Isaac wants to checkmate Ruto. That is their own issues. But for credibility, I'm talking about credibility because I'm very heavy on that. Everybody abuses me, but nobody has ever stood up there and said Miguna is a thief, Miguna is a liar, Miguna is a crook, Miguna. They cannot.
Because they can?
Straight like an arrow.
Look, to be very honest,
you know Isaac. You say you know Isaac.
I don't like people getting personal. I know Isaac through my interactions with him when he was in Parliament. I know William also through my interactions with him. I have respect for both of them. Very strong debaters.
What is personal about saying Isaac Xerox my memo?
Just a moment.
And
that was a public document.
Yes,
that was a public document.
It was not. It was a confidential memo to ODM members of Parliament.
We all got it, and knowing very well how the system works. Anybody can get any document anytime you want. Also when it's there distributed to 100+ members of Parliament.
Okay, what does he want?
I don't know about that particular facts. Well, I think what Isaac is agitating for is more money to the grassroots.
For what?
Eventually, what does he want?
Eventually?
Yes.
You would have to ask him about that.
No, I'm asking you.
No, I don't know. But what's wrong with somebody having an ambition to become the president of this country?
Nothing.
So if he wants to become...
doesn't have to fight Ruto to do that.
Just a moment. If he has to become... If he wants to become the president of this country, he will be there.
One Ruto will have to go through the other Ruto.
Look, let me tell you one thing.
He's not going to
I don't see any reason to call any one of them or to have a spite on their own credibility. Personally, I've seen them and I respect them like another Kenyan leaders.
Let me tell you.
I need some final thoughts.
No, let me tell you, Jeff.
Miguna.
Isaac has no chance in hell. No chance in hell.
To do what?
To undermine William Ruto in the Rift Valley.
Oh.
I mean, he's only 3 people. It's Isaac, Keter, and who? Do you even remember their names? You will not remember that tomorrow because they don't have staying power.
Okay, final thoughts. Go.
We need to get this country better. This business of personality, different parties, and the country is not getting any better. Kenyans are becoming poorer. The nation is suffering. And the leadership of the nation across the divide must come together. Not through the media. Not through the shenanigans that basically is there, become the modus operandi for most Kenyan politicians of today. But we need to take care of our own country. We don't have any other country. And areas need to be addressed. A lot of things need to be addressed. One is the issue of security in the country. 2 is the poverty, which by the Kenyans are becoming more and more poorer today. Families are going hungry in the country. I'm sure you've seen some of these statistics right now. We need to address and take more money to the people in the grassroots so that these people can be taken care of. The method of making sure that this money is not misused, I'm basically open to all sorts of suggestions and good ideas. And the center can even take charge of that. But we need to take care of this country because we don't have any other country. And let's try and cut down on politics as much as possible. Let us bring about some changes in this country for posterity, for our great-children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren.
Yeah, unfortunately, politics is our religion here in this country. Miguna, final thoughts.
I'm for
corruption is another area that needs to be tamed in the country. Corruption is very nepotism. Look at the appointments in the government, particularly at that higher level, and look at it. It's
you
a
get the last
problem.
word.
Jeff, I played a role during the coalition government, before and during. And it would be wrong to say there is more nepotism now than it was during the coalition government, the Kibaki-Raila coalition. And by the way, I have no fear or shame mentioning names, because issues outside names of individuals are really no issues, because we are human beings and these issues are around our interests. So I am calling for transformation at the local and national. Obviously, Okoa Kenya and the rest would want us to focus only at the national level. So when we talk about democracy and we talk about equity, we have to make sure that these are practiced at the village level, at the home level, village level, at the county level, and nationally. So when I talk about having dialogue, and if Raila refuses, we have a referendum in Lowland, I'm talking national issues, because without democracy in Lowland, we cannot purport to have democracy nationally as Luos. So I'm saying hypocrisy among leaders is not something that we should tolerate. Transformation in governance cannot happen if individuals purporting to lead that transformation are not honest. When I see Kalonzo, Raila, and Wetangula leading anything, I get very worried, because there is nothing in their DNA and their practice and their history that is changed, that is transformative. So I want Kenya to be transformed, but I want Kenya to be transformed genuinely, not excuses being used under the pretext of transformation, when in fact it is a power game, a plot for 2017. That is something that we have to say no to. And this referendum so-called debate is all about power.
You're going to be on the ground. If your referendum call goes through, would you be on the ground there?
Of course.
In Nyanza?
Even as we speak, I'm the one who called for the dialogue the other day I think it was about a month ago, that I said, I'm calling for dialogue for 20 days. If Raila refuses, or the Odinga Caliphate refuses, I'm going to call for a referendum. The other day, just last week, a very good article got written by Odoyo Wede, the brother to the former MP for Kasipulka Bondo, calling for dialogue. Luos are saying the time for dialogue is now. And if we don't get a positive response, we are going to start collecting our signatures. For us, we will not say we have collected 2 million. We only need 500,000. And we will append that question as the second question when they get to the referendum issue. You see, right now, they don't even have a question. But let's assume they do. Then we also want to append that question. Should the Odinga Caliphate continue to rule Luos forever? Yes or no?
Is that a constitutional question?
That's a
The referendum is not a constitutional issue. No, the referendum is not a constitutional issue. No.
Gentlemen,
referendum is a political issue. It has nothing to do with this.
Yes. Let me just walk away. You guys are left talking to yourselves.
No.
No, but what I'm saying is
have a show, guys.
Jeff, let me tell you one thing.
Referendum is a political issue.
Jeff,
it is not a constitutional issue.
We're talking about the devolution and how we should devolve more funds.
So that's what Okoa wants to talk about.
Gentlemen, don't make me go there.
What Miguna needs to do is to go to Lowland and
talk to the people.
And talk to the Luo people.
Right.
And if they
so I should not be on Jeff.
On that note.
No, you should be there.
And I'm here.
Gentlemen, Miguna, you are back.
We are going to bring change.
Back, baby, back.
Change is coming.
Change is coming. Which one?
Okay.
Oh my. Who am I? What a bench today, folks. I tell you, no holding back. That's what JKL is all about. Miguna may think that we're all about noise. That's constructive noise. And I keep saying we have to keep talking, because the moment we stop talking is the moment we start fighting, and you do not want to go down that slippery slope. Tomorrow night, right here on JKL at 10 p.m., guess who's on Inspiration Thursday? You heard it here first. Former President Daniel Arap Moi.
Here. You should have called him today.
Right here stay tuned. Keep tweeting at Koinange Jeff. The hashtag is JKL. Oh my, oh my. Thanks so much for watching right here on Kenya's television network, KTN. Thank you. Good night. Good luck.